Hi, I'm Andrea Boucher from Aroma Head Institute, and in this video we are going to make a beautiful woodsy solid perfume. And I'm going to teach you how to make the base for a solid perfume, and you can vary the essential oils so that the aroma is exactly what you want. This is one that I happen to really love. So the recipe is from my book, Essential Living, and it's called a Woodsy Perfume Balm. And I have other perfume balms in here, and I put the link to purchase the book in the description below the video if you're interested. So let's get started. We're going to melt beeswax and jojoba oil on the stove, and that's going to be our base. So I'm just going to grab a little bowl to measure and put my kitchen scale on and have it on ounces. And I'm just going to put the little bowl there and tare it so we remove the weight of the bowl. And then this perfume requires 1 ounce of beeswax. And since I'm just making this for myself, I'm not going to put gloves on, but if I was going to be making this blend for resale or for anybody else, then I would have gloves on for sure. So I'm just going to grab a spoon, and we're going to have 1 ounce of beeswax, or 28 grams. There we go. There we go, perfect. And I'm going to get that melting right away on the stove because it takes a little while to melt. So we're going to take this little bucket over to the stove, and on the stove I have a pot with hot water that's starting to simmer, and it's filled about 1/4 of the way with the hot water. And so I'm just going to take a Pyrex measuring cup, a glass measuring cup, and put it right in. And I'm leaving the handle out so that I can lift it up later and it won't be too hot. And then I just add the beeswax right into the Pyrex, and it will begin melting. And I keep it at sort of a low, very low boil or a high simmer because I don't want any water to splatter into the Pyrex. Okay, so that's good, and we'll let that get going. And I'm going to grab my little bowl. I can use the same little bowl again, and I make sure that the tare is still going, which it is, and then I'm going to grab my jojoba. And I have a big gallon of it here, but you can get less. The thing about jojoba is that it's a liquid wax, and so it doesn't go rancid, which is so excellent because the beeswax has a really long shelf life, about 20 years. And the jojoba never goes rancid because it's not an oil. So the base of this perfume stays good. Shelf life is good for years and years. It's the essential oil that you choose to put in that's going to decide the shelf life for you. So you just need to know the shelf life of your essential oils, and then you'll know the shelf life of your perfume. Okay, so these pumps are calibrated to 1 ounce, and we want 3 ounces in here. So but this isn't accurate totally. So I'm going to make sure that I get 3 ounces. So 1 pump is supposed to be 1 ounce. It's a little under. So I know I can just do 3 pumps really without any question. And then, yeah, I'm at 2.45. So I need to be at 3. So I'm going to do a little bit more. And there we are at 3. So because this is a wax, I can put it in with the beeswax before it's even melted because it can handle really high heat. If I happen to be using another oil here rather than jojoba, like for example, if I wanted to use avocado oil or I wanted to use rose hip seed oil, those have a 6-month to 8-month shelf life then, and they don't like heat, then I would wait to put them in until the beeswax was totally melted. But we're good. So I'm just going to pour it in and use a little spatula to get as much as I can into the Pyrex. There we go. And I think it's okay. I'm going to lower it just a tiny bit. And I have some glass stirring rods here. This one has a pink flamingo on it because I'm in Florida. And I'm just going to give it a little stir just to kind of chop up the beeswax a little bit. Beeswax is super hard and it definitely takes a few minutes to melt. So we're going to just let this melt, and then once it's melted, we're going to put in the essential oils. All right, we're all melted. So I'm going to turn off the stove, and I'm going to see how hot the handle is. It's great, it's just warm. I'm going to take this out and I'm just going to wipe off the bottom. And then I have a little trivet for hot items, and so I'm going to bring it over here and just put it right down on there, and then I'm going to add my essential oils right into this hot liquid. And if for any reason this started to solidify, I could just put it back on the stove. So we have 3 beautiful essential oils in this blend. We have Vintage Patchouli, we have Juniper Berry, and we have Cypress. Really woodsy and gorgeous aroma. So I am going to start with the Cypress, and we have 5 drops of Cypress that go in here. And if you've worked with essential oils, you know that drops come out fast. So if you get an extra drop, don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be exact, but I'm going to try to get 5. So I'm just going to lean down because it's easier for me to track it and play with this bottle a little bit so I can try to control the drops. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the Juniper Berry. It's amazing. The Cypress is really woody. The Juniper Berry has like a touch of sweetness that it's gonna bring into that woody aroma. So now we're going to do 6 drops of juniper. And I personally love this combination of cypress and juniper. It's a really beautiful aroma. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think I might have got 7. That's all right. Okay, there we go. And then the patchouli. And this patchouli ages really well. It doesn't oxidize so quickly like the other oils, a lot of other oils. So this patchouli is so rich and luscious and sweet, and it's 16 or 17 years old, and it's in beautiful shape. So we're gonna put 6 drops of patchouli in here, and patchouli is a little bit thicker, so it's easier to work with in terms of the orifice reducer. There's 6 drops. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab my stirring rod and I'm going to stir this up. And that's really all it needs. The essential oil will just dilute right into the hot wax. And then we're going to pour. And we're going to have a little bit more than we need. We made 4 ounces and I have 3 tins here, so we'll just fill these 3 tins. And these are fun little tins that you can use for solid perfume or for lip balm. And so I'm just gonna take the hot wax and I'm going to carefully pour into the tins, and I'm not going to pour it all the way to the top because I don't want it to stick to the top. So I'm going to pour it so that it's mostly full. Had to just smell it. It smells so good. The jojoba doesn't have much of an aroma, so what we have is the aroma of the essential oils and the sweet honey of the beeswax. So now we'll pour this last one. And so you'll be able to make at least 4 of these, more likely 5, because we're not really filling them all the way up. And we have 4 ounces in here, so we'll probably be able to make 5 of them. Okay, I'm just going to rest this here, and then I'm going to just take the caps, and I want to cover them right away because the essential oils, I don't want them to evaporate. So I'm just going to drop the cap right on top. I'm not even going to screw it on. I'm just going to put it on the top, and I'm not going to move them because I want the top to be really smooth and solid, and if I move it and jar it a little bit, I might lose that really smooth top, that flat top, and I like how that looks when you first open it. So we'll leave them there and they will solidify very quickly. So within maybe 15-20 minutes, you'll be able to use it. And the way I use these is I just dip my finger in and put a little bit behind each ear or wherever you want them. And you have yourself a gorgeous, solid perfume, totally natural and smells amazing. So enjoy.